Hello, again it's me, TFR Wilderness, and second of this month's KTRT reviews for you today. Right, thing I forgot to mention in last KTRT review is that I have got a theme for this month's KTRTs, and the theme is black alt modes, because Farlow obviously turns into a black buffalo. That's his alt mode, and the bot I've got to show you here has got a black alt mode as well. And he's one of the new characters that's been introduced in the Tobot V toy line. Now, I reviewed Tobot V Captain Police a while ago, and he's the first Tobot V bot that I've got. And this is the second one that I've bought, and it's one of a double set. Well, one of two figures that combine together to form like a bigger gestalt. Though the other bot I'm not really interested in getting. I'm just going to get this guy because this guy's pretty cool. And the subject of today's review is Tobot V Big Trail. And here he is. And as you can see, he's a big black truck. This is his alt mode. Alright. But, yeah, so it's big black alt mode. But before we get into the figure itself, let's have a quick look at the packaging. Here's his box. Got the big window, big shiny card in the back, big trail. And the kid, I'm not sure what his name is. And then on the side you can see that it combines together with the other guy to form Big Troll, because the other guy is called Troll. And as you can see here, you can also combine the two alt modes together to form a kind of road train. But yeah, and there's the box. It's also got these Tobot V boxes have got this angular cut down the front. That's how you can tell them apart from other boxes. Comes with a set of instructions and a toki. Now the toki for this guy, it's supposed to be some kind of like a bull, and it doesn't really look that great. It's got these massive horns, and you can kind of make out. I know I'm wearing a black t-shirt, but you can kind of make out the two legs. Yeah, it's a thing. Now, some of these later Tobot V figures, the robot mode's head is actually built into the toki, and I'm not really too keen on that, but that's just the way they went with these. But anyway, we've got his toki, which is a bull, and then we've got the figure himself. Lovely alt mode, big black, big rig, kind of like one of those big Australian road trains, because it's got the massive great sort of like kangaroo catchers on the front. Lovely details. It's got air cleaners down the side, it's got mirrors, it's got exhaust stacks, it's got like a step plate and fuel tanks, and it's a bit messy on the back, obviously, and you look on the back of his alt mode, he's kind of got some robot fists hanging out, because this guy, for the combiner, he splits in two, like so, and becomes the arms of the combiner. But as I don't have the other guy to form the combiner, we won't be doing that. I'm just thought I'd demonstrate it for you there. But yeah, it's a lovely truck mode, and kind of reminiscent of some Transformer figures. For instance, kind of looks a lot like RID Scourge, I think. Yeah. So yeah, kind of looks quite a lot like RID Scourge in alt mode. And the other thing about this guy, this is what's called a conventional truck, because it's got like a bonnet and then the cab. But there's such a thing as like a cab over, what's referred to as cab over, when you have the cab over the top of the front. Optimus Prime, G1 Optimus Prime is a cab over. He's got a flat front to the cab rather than this obvious bonnet. But this guy, what you can do is you can turn him into a cab over. You can do that. You can bring the cab forward, and then he becomes a cab over. And then he kind of looks like this guy. It kind of looks like MP10B. So yeah, I love that about him. You can mess around with his cab design in alt mode. And I know it's not a proper thing. It's just something that it's just some of the transformation joints that you can make use of. and you can you know, sort of change the look of his alt mode a little bit by moving the top of his, you know, cockpit of the cab backwards and forwards, which I really like. So you've got that, and yeah, so it's a lovely truck. It rolls really well. It's got large wheels, pinned. Decent amount of, you know, sort of, you know, tech detail on this thing, and it's picked out in paint and different coloured plastics. I mean, the truck mode, like I said, it's got mirrors, it's got like air horns, it's got exhaust stacks, it's got air cleaners, it's got, you know, like the grille indicators, bull bars, and then you go down the side and it's got, you know, battery boxes, step plates, fuel tanks, sleeper cab. You know, it's fairly realistic, apart from obviously all this junk on the back. But really awesome looking truck mode, and I love it. And it's got a decent weight to it, as you know, Tobots generally do, because, you know, they're very chunky and well made, and this guy's no exception to that rule. Yeah, and right. So transformation in the show, the kid has this. He turns into his sort of like superhero costume, and he has this gun. He spins the wheel on it, and then the face of the robot comes out, and then he shoots the toki, which is this thing, and it shoots out, and then hits the bot, and it transforms. Now, transforming this guy, fairly straightforward actually. So start off with, get these panels on the side, flip them round, then you can straighten out the legs, then you twist them round to face the front, then bring these up, and then you start, oh no, you don't do that, you start, I don't know, pull the arms up, that's it, pull the arms up like that, and then, now this is the problem, when you're trying to pull this thing apart, it pulls the two halves of the body apart, because they're only held together by 3 clips. But there we go. So you've got to do that. Ratchet them round to the side. Then you bring the shoulders up. There's these little panels on the back you've got to fold in, like so. And then you can straighten out the arms. Nearly there. And then you got the toki. So the toki comes flying in. Now you've got to flip this panel down, and then you slot it in, and it should peg in. The hell's going on here? Oh, I know why. Yeah, you've got to fold in that little peg there, and then it clips in, and there's his head, and there is Big Trail in robot mode, and he's a really cool looking bot. I mean, I love the aesthetic on this guy. I especially like the head sculpt, because if you look at him, he's got like this massive quiff for starters, and he's got like what looks like a long black, well, like a pointy black beard, and I kind of make it to me, it kind of makes him look a bit like Abraham Lincoln. He's got like that sort of head sculpt, and, you know, sort of the chiseled features of Abraham Lincoln going on, and I really like that about him. And he's got this big sort of quiff, and I really like his head sculpt. And from what I've seen of the character in the show, he's a pretty he's a pretty good character. There's a lot of, you know, bulky cab kibble on his shoulders, but, you know, he's, as you can see, he's got fairly basic colour palette. It's like this off-white black with some, you know, some bright white, and then it's got these yellow pieces intersected, and a little bit of sort of like a aqua green for the headlamps and the windows. But, you know, for the most part, it's the sort of the light grey, the black, and the yellow. But there's a lot of detail picked out on his legs, on his arms, on his chest that highlight the various areas and really make him pop, even though he has got a fairly simple colour palette. Great looking bot, really fantastic. Quick size comparison while we're at it. There he is next to Combiner Wars Megs, and as you can see, he's a full-on leader class size, which is good. Articulation, he's pretty good for articulation, this guy. He's got a head that moves, which for a Tobot is unusual. The shoulders are on these kind of coarse ratchets that go all the way round. There's a bit of a ratcheted joint there. The elbows go forwards. Now they're on this other joint, but you can just get them going forwards to there. Doesn't have any bicep swivels, unfortunately. You can also, you've got a joint there. So on the shoulder joint, you've got that joint, and that joint. So you've got a few joints on the shoulders. You can sort of mess around with him a little bit. Moving down, nothing at the waist. The hips, legs go back that far, go forward that much. Decent spread. As you can hear, pretty noisy ratchets. And then the knees are quite high. They're up here. They're sort of like in his lower thighs. But he's got a decent knee bend. And now, thigh swivels. Now, usually your thigh swivels in the thigh, but this guy has got a transformation joint there, which isn't right, but you can kind of fake some sort of thigh rotation poses a little bit by sort of moving them from side to side. But because of the alignment on this knee piece, it looks a bit odd. So yeah, he's not the most articulated thing in the world, but he's still relatively good for a Tobot. He does come with one other accessory. It comes with this. Now, this is, well, it's the Victory hammer. You can see it's a big hammer and it's got a big V painted on the end. And he largely uses this when he's in combined mode with Troll to become Big Troll. This is their sort of melee weapon. They bring this out, and it's a case of so when the hammer comes out and Big Troll swings it, that's it. It's like, what it does is it stamps a big V on whatever it is it hits, and you get this this animation where you see the planet Earth, and this huge massive thing comes down and stamps a V on it. And basically, if you get hit with this thing, it's going to ruin your day big style, because it's so ridiculously overpowered, this hammer. Yeah, it's stupid. Now it's a little bit oversized for this guy to use. He can hold it though. Now it's got this peg here, and he's got slots in the underside of his arms, not the top side, so you can stick it in his arm like that, and he can sort of swing it, but it's got a fair bit of weight. The ratchets can just about hold it up, just about. So bosh, bosh. So he can hold it, but not very good. Obviously, he's got no rotations in his fists or anything, so you can't really get him in any double-handed posing with it, which is a shame. And it's got a little notch. The handle's got, come on, it's got like a little notch in it there. See it there, so that it kind of locks into the hand. Yeah, so the hammer, it's a thing. It's a bit big for this character, but it makes more sense when you get the combiner, because obviously this guy, these are the fists for the combiner, and you can see you can hold it quite well in the peg for the combiner fists. So yeah, that's that. He's a really good bot. He's, you know, decently posable. Well, reasonably posable for a Korean toy. Love the head sculpt. Alt mode's really cool. Robot mode looks really awesome. It's got a bit of shoulder bulk, you know, cab kibble going on the shoulders, but apart from that, he's not too bad. Yeah, and in the show, he's a pretty decent character, from what I've seen. I mean, when these guys got introduced, Troll and Big Trail, you know, it was like for 3 or 4 episodes, they were the only characters that were in the show. The rest of the characters just vanished, just disappeared. And yet before that, it was Tank Guy and Great Admiral that were the main characters. Of course, now we've got this. In the latest episodes, we've got this sort of gestalt, this copolymer combiner with Rocket, Speed, and Monster combined together to form this new gestalt. So, you know, they're going with that at the moment. So it swings and roundabouts. You know, you get some new characters introduced into the show, and then you'll get a couple of episodes featuring said characters until a new character gets introduced, a new toy comes out, and then they will move on to that one. So it's obviously a blatant, you know, sort of marketing ploy for toys. So, but that said, Big Trail, he's really cool. He's really awesome. He's a good bot. He looks great. You know, makes lots of sort of clicky noises. The plastic quality is it's fairly sturdy. I mean, you got like the grey plastic bits tend to feel a little softer than the black plastic, but overall he's a decent bot, and so glad I got him. And that's been my review today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll get some people actually watching this video, because like I said, my viewing figures are going down. So if you're one of the like 15 people that's going to watch this video in the first 24 hours, then good on you. Thank you very much. And hopefully I'm going to be picking up some Siege figures at the MCM Comic Con at Birmingham this weekend, so I might review one of those next week. But until then, I've been Too Far Wilderness. I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.